guys? It's Amelia. Welcome back to my channel and happy Wednesday. I hope you guys are all having an amazing week and enjoying the beautiful spring weather. I know I definitely am. So pause this video and go for a walk and go get outside and then come back and watch the rest. Okay, so it's been a hot minute since I've done a crochet video on my channel. I just kind of took a break from crocheting, but I've really been loving getting back into crafting now that I am graduating from my master's in speech pathology. So I really wanted to make another granny square afghan. So as you can see behind me, my precious, adorable cat, Fluber, is sleeping on a crocheted afghan that I made. And it's just a very simple granny square that I made a ton of rainbow squares out of and then just crocheted them all together. I really wanted to make another crocheted afghan, and this one is gonna be a gift for a friend. Motorcycle. What I'm gonna be showing you how to make today is the Edelweiss crochet granny square. And I found this pattern on Pinterest. She has this listed on her website for free. It's called the Edelweiss flower, which I just love because the sound of music, Edelweiss. It's gorgeous. So I'm gonna show you how to make it today. It's only 6 rows. It's a pretty simple square, but it does have quite a few complicated stitches. So I do recommend printing out the pattern. I'll have this linked. I just copied this from her website into a document so it was easier for me to read. So I'll have my document linked in the description as well as her website. And then there are special stitches, which are very important, and I've had to refer to this multiple times. So I will be showing you how to make the special stitches. And then of course there are instructions for finishing and joining the squares together, which I haven't gotten to that step yet because I only have 10 granny squares made. They kind of look like pancakes. Really adorable pancakes. Also, I wanted to say, if you're new to crocheting or you don't have a lot of experience, do not worry. I will go through everything very slowly. I will explain every single stitch. And I do have a video called How to Crochet the Basics. I will go ahead and link that for you because it goes over how to hold your yarn and just some basic stitches that you use very commonly in crocheting. Let's go ahead and get started on making the Edelweiss granny square. So what you need to crochet is of course a crochet hook, and this pattern calls for the 6mm, which would look like this. It's one of your bigger crochet hooks. So you're gonna want a hook, of course, you're gonna want scissors and your pattern, and last but not least, your yarn. So I went with this Lion brand basic stitch, but the main reason I went for this yarn is because of the beautiful color. It's called Beige Heather, and it's really soft as well. So I loved that for the blanket. You want to make sure your blanket is cozy and soft. So this is the yarn that I'm using. I bought it at Joann Fabrics, but I'm sure you can get it in many places. So when you're starting with a new skein of yarn, it's a little bit tricky to find the end. It's usually located in one of the sides, but I'll be honest with you, a lot of times I have a fight with my yarn to find the end. We want the end from the very middle of the skein, and kind of, sometimes it takes a while to find it, so give me a second. Okay, I found it. So the very first thing you're gonna do is make a slip knot. So what you're gonna do is take your yarn, wrap it around 2 fingers, come up from behind and go through the loop that you made, but don't push the tail all the way through. Grab the tail and then pull both sides. And that's gonna create a slip knot that you can easily adjust by pulling the shorter tail. So you're gonna wanna adjust that down so it's a small loop and put your hook in the loop. And in my basics to crocheting video, I show you how to hold your yarn. So go ahead and hop over to that to see details on how to hold your yarn because it's very helpful to know how to hold it. So the first thing that you do when you crochet is you chain. And you're gonna yarn over and pull through, and that's 1 chain. So the pattern says to chain 3 at the beginning. It's gonna count as 1 double crochet, and we're gonna do 11 more double crochets into our first chain. So a double crochet is a yarn over, go through the stitch or the chain, and yarn over again and pull through. So you'll have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull through the first 2, yarn over again and pull through the second 2. And that's a double crochet. So the pattern calls for 12 in the beginning, and these are all in that very first chain that we made, and it'll get kind of bigger and stretched out, but you can pull it tighter by pulling on that tail. So at the end of your first row, it's gonna look something like this. Go ahead and take your tail and pull on it to cinch the middle. And let's count our stitches to make sure we have 12.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
And then this is those first 3 chains we made, 12. So at the end of your row, you're going to insert your hook into that last chain or first stitch. So right here, through both of these loops, that's 1 stitch. You're going to yarn over and you're going to pull through, and that's called a slip stitch. And you do that at the end of almost every row just to finish the row. So that is row 1. So row 2 is going to be made up of puff stitches, and these are really fun. So a puff stitch is a special stitch that this design uses, and it's actually very simple. So you just yarn over and go into your stitch, yarn over again, and pull out, and then kind of pull on your yarn so that it's not tight. And you're going to do that 4 times in total. So we did 1, 2, 3, 4. Quite a few loops on your hook. It should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 loops on your hook. Then you're going to yarn over and very carefully you're going to pull through all 9 of those loops. And then you're going to chain 2. And you remember, a chain is yarn over and pull through. And you're just going to repeat that step 12 times, 1 time in each stitch. 1 puff stitch and then 2 chain in between. So at the end of row 2, you've just finished 12 puff stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Always good to count. And then you just did your 2 chains at the end. So you're going to go ahead and slip stitch into this stitch where you just go through the stitch, yarn over, and then pull that loop through the loop that was already on your hook. So that's the end of row 2. So row 3 is very simple. We're just going to be doing double crochets the entire way around. So the first thing you do is you chain 3, and just like before, that's going to count as 1 double crochet. And it's going to count in this space. I think she has the pattern written a little differently, but this is just the way that made the most sense to me. So there's going to be 3 double crochets in each chain 2 space that we made. So here is a chain 2 space, here's a chain 2 space, basically in between every single puff stitch. So there's going to be 3 double crochets in each one. And as you can see, this one kind of sits in the previous one, so when we come back around, we'll only do 2 double crochet stitches in this last one to go with this chain 3. So I chained 3, and now I'm going to jump right over to the next chain 2 space, and I'm going to do 3 double crochet stitches in this space. You just yarn over, you insert through the space, yarn over again, yarn over, pull through the first 2, and then yarn over through the next 2. It's that same stitch that we did at the beginning. And then no chains, you're just gonna jump over to the next space and do that same thing. Okay, so once you've done 3 double crochets in each space and then 2 in that last one with those 3 chains, we're gonna slip stitch to the last chain of the 3 chains to complete the row. Okay, that was row 3. So now row 4, we're gonna do these little petals that come off, and those involve this special stitch that she has notated as DC 2 together, which basically just means double crochet 2 together and then double crochet 3 together. So you're going to be doing 3 together mainly the whole time. So the first thing you're going to do, just like all the other rows, is you're going to chain 3 to start. And just like all the other rows, that's going to count as your first double crochet. So now we're going to do something called the DC 2 together over the next 2 stitches. So I'm gonna yarn over, go through the next stitch, pull through just like a regular double crochet, but then when I get to the end, instead of yarning over and pulling through, I'm gonna yarn over and I'm gonna go through the next stitch to do another double crochet and then pull through the final 3 loops on our hook. So that's the first one, to include the chain as the first double crochet, and then you're going to chain 4 DC 3 together over these next 3 stitches. So you yarn over, go through the first stitch, yarn over and pull through, and then yarn over and go through the first 2 loops on your hook. So now there should be 2 remaining. Yarn over again, next stitch, yarn over, pull through first 2 loops. yarn over, third stitch, first 2, you should have 4, yarn over, pull through all 4, and chain 4, and that's going to create these petals. So you're going to go ahead and do that all the way around, and I'll meet you back for the slip stitch to finish the row. So at the end of row 4, you're going to slip stitch into the top stitch of the next petal to finish it off. And it should look like this. So our next row is going to create the square shape. So we've just finished this circle, and now we're going to create these corner petals that make it into a square. So you're going to start off with one of the corners. So the first thing that she has you do is chain 1 and then single crochet into the same space. So I think that's just kind of an anchor. So you're just going to single crochet right back into this space like that, single crochet. And then after that, you're going to chain 3, and then we're going to do a special stitch called DC2CL. So it's going to look like this. You're going to yarn over, you're going to go through that same stitch at the top of the petal, yarn over again and pull through 2, and you're going to do that again. Yarn over through the petal, yarn over through the first 2, there's 3 loops on your hook, yarn over and go through all 3. So that created the DC2CL. Now you're going to chain 2, and you're going to do something called a TR2CL. So you're going to yarn over twice and then go through the same stitch, yarn over, pull back through. You're going to yarn over and go through 2, yarn over and go through 2. And then you're going to repeat that. Yarn over twice through the same stitch, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2, and then yarn over through the remaining 3 loops on your hook. Now you're going to chain 2, and you're going to repeat the first one, which is the DC2 cluster, in the same stitch. So yarn over through the same stitch, go through both loops, do it again, and then go through all 3. And as you can see, that's going to create a little corner. So now you're going to chain 3 and single crochet in the top of the next petal. So single crochet, you go through the stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over and pull through both of those. That's 1 single crochet. So that was 3 chain, 1 single crochet. Now you're going to do 4 chain for the center, and then another single crochet in the top of the next petal. Then you're going to do 3 chain again, and now you're ready to do the next corner. So I'll show you how to do the corner one more time. We're going to start with our DC2CL. So yarn over through the top of the petal, yarn over again, yarn over, pull through the first 2, yarn over, back through, yarn over, pull through the first 2, through all 3. And then you're going to follow that with the TR2CL, treble crochet 2 together cluster. And you're going to yarn over twice through that same stitch, yarn over, pull through the first 2, yarn over, pull through the first 2. We're going to repeat that, yarn over twice through the same loop, yarn over, pull through the first 2, yarn over, pull through the first 2. There's 3 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through all 3. Then we're going to chain 2, and we're going to do the DC2CL once more. So yarn over through the corner, yarn over and pull through, yarn over and pull through the first 2. Repeat it again, yarn over through the stitch, yarn over through the first 2, and then go through all 3. And that's going to create the second corner. Wow, I don't think I've said the words yarn over so many times in my entire life as I just did in the last minute. Okay, so now you're going to repeat that same thing. We're going to chain 3, single crochet, chain 4, single crochet, chain 3, the corner. So this might be a little confusing, but when you do it, you can really see how it lays out. So if you think about it as a square, I think it really helps. You see corner, corner, there'll be a corner here and a corner here. And then of course, when you get to the end, we will slip stitch together for the row. congratulations, you've made it to the very last row and it looks so cute. So the last row is very simple. It's completely made up of double crochet stitches all the way around. So there's a pattern that it follows of how many go where, and I'm going to explain it to you before I show you because I think that'll help. So depending on where you slip stitch, because I find sometimes my squares kind of vary with where I end up. I don't know what that says about me, but it kind of varies. So in the chain 2 space, there's going to be 2 double crochets. In the corner stitch, there's going to be 1 double crochet, chain 2, 1 double crochet. Next chain 2 space, 2 double crochet. Next stitch, 1 double crochet. Next chain 3 space, 3 double crochet. Next stitch, 1 double crochet. Next chain 4, 4 double crochet. So you get the idea. The same amount of chains or stitches, that's the amount of double crochets you're gonna do, except on the corners where in this very corner stitch, you're gonna do a double crochet, chain 2, a double crochet. So we slip stitch into that first stitch. So I'm gonna start by going into the chain space. So you're gonna yarn over, go through the space, yarn over again, yarn over, pull through the first 2, yarn over, pull through the second 2, 1 double crochet. You're going to do it again in the same space. And now we're at the corner. So at the corner, I'm going to double crochet into the corner stitch. And then I'm going to chain 2. And then I'm going to double crochet into that same corner stitch. And this is going to create the corner, basically. And now we're back over here. So now we're back to our chain 2 space. So 2 double crochets. Now we're at the next stitch. So 1 double crochet in that stitch. And now we're at the chain 3 space. So 3 double crochets. Now we are at the first single crochet stitch. So we're gonna do 1 double crochet into that stitch. And the next one is the 4 chain space, so that's 4 double crochets. And then you really just continue that pattern all the way around. Just make sure in the corners you do 1 double crochet, chain 2, 1 double crochet to make sure that it forms the corner. And I'll meet you when we've done all of our double crochets all the way around. So altogether there should be 20 double crochet stitches on each side. So 20 on each side of the square. Meet you back here in a second. Or probably longer than a second, probably like 3 minutes. The last thing to do is just go ahead and make a slip stitch. And then you're going to use your scissors, cut your yarn with a little tail to sew back in, and you've made your Edelweiss flower granny square. Wow, it is just so beautiful. Thank you so much for watching this video and learning how to do this with me. Please leave any questions you have in the comments. If I didn't explain something well or something was confusing, I'll do my best to answer and help you. And I'll also include the printed instructions in the description because it really helped me to read them through a few times. So thank you so much for watching. I can't wait to hear about how it went making this granny square in the comments, and I'll see y'all another Wednesday for another video. Bye guys! What do you think of the granny squares, buddy? He likes them. Oh no, he's gonna take a nap. You're not supposed to get cat hair on them. Oh dear. This is not what I meant to happen.